All right, YouTube family, what's going on? Today is Friday, April 28th, I believe. And I wanted to show you guys how I group and route tracks together as far as background vocals, harmonies, stacks, dubs, ad-libs, everything like that. How do I route them so that way I can save DSP? Especially for you UAD users, this is extremely helpful because, as you know, depending on the plugins that you're using, you're going to run out of DSP pretty quick if you have, especially if you have a solo or duo DSP chip inside of your Apollo, you're going to run out pretty quick. So this is a good way to save DSP, or even if you're not using UAD and just need to save processing power, this is a great way to do it. So I'm going to import the files of this session and show you guys how I lay this out. This is a song by Lindsay Alderman, and she recorded this at her home studio, and then she brought it here for me to mix on Wednesday, I believe, Wednesday morning. And as you can see, she did a pretty good job on naming the tracks, so that helps me out a lot. So just quickly, I'll, I guess, color code this just to get a little separation here. All right, so we've got the beat up top, we've got vocals here. So right off the bat, I can see that this is a main, this is a main. So I'm gonna want those to be together. I typically lay my sessions out so wherever the vocals are starting, the main vocals are up top. And then even not looking at the names, I can kind of look at the tracks and tell what tracks kind of go together. So let's see, we got ad lib, bring these up. Got a high harmony. And you can do this however you want. I'm kind of just placing things to what makes sense to me. So I'm gonna have the harmonies together. We've got a mid harmony down here. So as far as my harmonies go, personally, I just like to go high, middle, low. That's just, I don't know why I do that. It's just personal preference. These here look like they're the stack going on the lead vocal, so you're the main dubs pretty much. And then I've got one little ad-lib track down here. Here are a few other ad-libs, so I'm just bringing these down here. All right, so and I don't typically do this. Usually all my vocals I leave yellow, but I'm just gonna separate them just so that way for visual so you guys can see. So let's do this. Some ugly colors. So we've got the leads, we've got the main dubs, we've got our harmonies in green, and then we've got our ad-libs in blue. So what I will do is right off the bat, I'm going to create a couple aux tracks. I'm going to make them stereo. Just for the sake of this tutorial, I'm going to do 3. I'm going to name the first one music, the second one Vox for vocals, the third one will be my submix. I go through and solo safe all of those just so that way whenever I want to hit solo on one of these later in the mix, they'll still be able to play. And now what I'm going to do is route the music and the vocal stem through the submix. All right. So what I'm going to do here is route the music through the music aux. And you might think what I would do, and what I see a lot of people doing, is taking all of the vocals and just putting them through one vocal aux or one vocal stem. Personally, what I prefer to do, instead of putting effects on this track, you know, let's say I started mixing this track and then I know that this is going to be the same, so then I just copy and paste all the vocals here. Personally, what I do is create an aux track. So let's say that's the lead track. And then what I'll do is route that to the vocal track. So what that allows me to do is just put plugins on this lead aux track, and it will affect both of these tracks. So now that's already, as you can see, saving me DSP power. So then what I'll do the same thing for the dubs. Route that to the vocal track. The harmonies. So harmonies are tricky. Sometimes I will take the high harmonies, route them to their own aux track. I'll take the mids and route them to their own aux track. I'll take the lows. I'll route those to their own box track, or to their own aux track, if I could speak. And but in this case, for this mix, I did group them all together and just routed them to a harmony track. Something that you need to keep in mind whenever you're routing your harmonies and if you want to separate them or not is just the balance. You got to think, you know, let's say I have the mids as the loudest, the highs and then the lows are the quietest. If I route those all to an aux track and I start adding compression, it's going to mess up the balance a little bit. So what I will sometimes do, it just depends on the sound that I'm going for. In this case, on this record, it did sound good by sending all of the harmonies to one aux track and treating them, compression, EQ, all of that as one. It sounded really good. But sometimes I don't want that. So I'll either, like I said, route each individual pitch to its own harmony aux, or I will add compression, usually like a RVox or something like that. I'll add that to the first insert of each individual track. And so that way the vocals are already pretty controlled before hitting the aux track, and I don't need to worry about doing any more compression there, and the balance will remain the same. So you kind of just have to play with it depending on the song and the sound that you're going for. But again, for this record, I did send them all through this one aux track. And then for the ad-libs, I do the same thing. Make an ad-lib aux, send that through the vocals. I need to do the same thing with this harmony. So now everything is routed and grouped together how I like it. It makes it easy for me to mix. So now instead of adding plugins to every single individual track, I can just add the plugins to those aux tracks and just move like that. It makes things a lot easier for me instead of you know, running out of DSP in my Apollo or slowing down my computer. This is how I like to move. So and then now if I play just a portion of it, you can see everything is routed through these stems and going into the sub.
Everybody tells me I'm in way too deep. They don't know you and they don't know me. I can never keep up.
All right, so from there, I would start setting levels and any panning that I may want to do. Then I would treat my submix. So yeah, I just wanted to show you guys that real quick. If you dig this video, I know it was pretty basic for some. It may have taught somebody something, I hope so. But if you dig this video, definitely give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And I'll be back with another vlog on Monday. So I'll catch you guys then. Peace.